top 4 clash in the Southwest Division of the PDL as the perfect Fresno Fuego come into San Francisco to take on San Francisco City FC, and it's live and it's next. Good afternoon and welcome into Negoesco Stadium. I'm Charles Wolin. It's a top 4 clash here in the Southwest Division. The perfect Fresno Fuego, 3 wins on the year. They've only conceded 2 goals. Take on a resurgent SF City FC team that came back from 2 goals down to win 3-2 last weekend. It's all on the line the first half, and lineups after this.
Milton Blanco. Gerardo Gerardo Mendoza. And midfielder number 14, number 22, Johnny Ramos. And the forward, number 19, Bryce Kaminsky. Remove your caps. For the city of our national anthem, which will be performed today by San Francisco's own geographer.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's
Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and once again, welcome into Negawesco Stadium. This is Charles Wolin with you here from the first to the 90th minute, as always. And thank you so much for tuning into this broadcast, as always. And thank you for helping to grow the game of soccer in this country, the United States of America. By tuning into this broadcast, that's exactly what you do. It's a top four clash here in the Southwestern Conference of the PDL. The perfect Fresno Fuego, 3 wins on the year, no losses, no ties. SF City FC, they are 4th in the division right now, and they're vying to move up the ladder. The top 2 teams in this division will go to the playoffs. SF City, 2 wins, 2 losses, and 1 tie. They have played 2 games more than Fresno Fuego. Fresno Fuego had about 9 days off. As of last week, they beat Ventura County Fusion at home, 4-2. Jose Cuevas had 2 goals in that game, and they've only conceded 2 goals as well. It's a pretty fantastic record. We'll go ahead and give you the starting 11 for Fresno Fuego, coached, of course, by Brian Schwaszka, who was a midseason replacement last year and really led this team quite well into the playoffs. Fortunately, they lost their home game, their play-in game, to the Burlingame Dragons in the West Coast Conference play-in game to get to the West Coast Conference Championships. But this is a team that's really drilled well, very dialed in, very well disciplined. In goal is Augustin Ray. The right back is Elijah Martin. The 2 center backs are Sergi Noose and Trevor Spurgeon. At left back is Bruno Brumati. So 3 men in midfield. The defensive midfielder is Abraham Cantos. The box-to-box midfielder, Renato Bustamante. Just above them, of course, Milton Blanco. On the right side, Tony Torres. And on the left side, Jose Cuevas, who had 2 goals again, as we had said last week. Through the middle is Nia Graham, a familiar face for SF City FC. He really had their number last year as he played for the Las Vegas Mobsters, but now plying his trade this year with Fresno Fuego. For SF City FC, there's a couple changes from the team that defeated Ventura County Fusion last week. In goal is Keenan Weeks. The back line is unchanged with Manny Padilla, Christian DeLuna, and Ben Brewster, the 2 center backs, and Robert Hines at left back. Danny Kirkland patrols in central midfield. Alongside him, University of California soon-to-be senior Halil Bejai. In front of them, Davi Ramos in the attacking midfield position. On the left side is Edu Calvo Salinas, who was magnificent, the 18-year-old coming on as a substitute and really making a difference last week. And on the right, Gerardo Mendoza. Through the middle, Bryce Kaminsky, who's scoreless in his last 2 matches for SF City FC, but telling me before this match that he really wants to get on the scoreboard. This is Blanco for Fresno. Fresno going from right to left on your screen, wearing all white. The series history between the two teams, really quite interesting. SF City FC traveled to Fresno last year, and there was a red card around the 30th minute. Johannes DeMarzi picked up 2 yellow cards, and Fresno defeated SF City 5-1. However, the game was reversed for a forfeit for SF City FC as Fresno fielded an ineligible player. The reverse fixture last year here in San Francisco, Fresno won that match 2-0. So, again, 1-1 the series history technically, but Fresno beating SF City in Fresno last year and beating SF City here in San Francisco. Sure, SF City has a lot to say about that one, though, especially after last week's heroic game. They were down 2-0 early to Ventura County Fusion. Just around the half-hour mark, they got a penalty kick. Danny Kirkland converted the penalty kick, and then just around 3 or 4 minutes later, they were able to level the match going into halftime, and then the winner, of course, was scored by Carlos Carranza just around the 60th minute mark, and the rest was history. Fresno Fuego, they beat Ventura earlier last week as well, and that was 4-2. Ventura hitting the post a couple of times in that match. It was a good matchup for both. This is Robert Hines. Now DeLuna's long ball in search for Kaminsky, who's chasing a center back, Sergi Noose, who plays his ball at the University of Virginia. Certainly going to be a pro one day. I know there's a lot of scouts looking at him. SF City Northsiders, the supporter group on the far side, welcoming their counterparts from Fresno that have traveled in numbers, the Fresno Fire Squad. They have a really unique history with one another. They like to drink together, have a lot of fun. There's not really a lot of bad blood between the two teams, but they really do enjoy each other very much because Fresno's been in this league since 2002. This is now their 15th year. This is just SF City's 2nd year. So Fresno almost being kind of the cousin or the twin brother, if you will, to SF City with their supporter groups. And it's a really special thing to see people who love soccer kind of actually get a chance to be friends with one another and have some good banter. Of course, everyone's not going to agree on anything or support the same team, but they do enjoy a good boat race, I'm told, after the match. Long ball sent in for Kaminsky. Fresno needs to be careful at the back to clear their lines. This is Abraham Campos now. Tony Torres. Back into the feet of Campos to Cuevas, who had a brace about 9 days ago. And there's the first slip of the game. We usually talk about it a lot on these broadcasts, but this newly laid turf that was here just around a year ago has players really having to change their boots. It's not the typical artificial turf with the the rubber tires that are in it. It's got a kind of an organic sand, and so some of these players really having to manufacture and figure out what kind of cleats or shoes they can be using. Not a typical stud, if you will. Now, this is Cuevas down the left side. Does very well indeed. Now Campos. Back into the feet of Cuevas. To the outside now, ball swerved in, and a cross by Renato Bustamante goes for a goal kick. the national anthem sung by Geographer, my favorite band in the entire world, and Mr. Mike Denny with the vocals earlier before this game, and it's in the back of the net early for SF City FC. Right there, it's Gerardo Mendoza, the St. Mary's College product, with the goal. A fantastic one with outside the 18. SF City leads now. San Francisco 1, Fresno 0. Brilliant work there, and a wonderful, wonderful strike by Mendoza. San Francisco City FC used to playing from behind, and so in this match, they do have a lead. Their first 2 games on the year, the first one against Burlingame, the home opener just 3 weeks ago, they had to play from behind. And again, against Ventura, they went down 2-0. And that's a goal well taken by Mendoza. His first on the year for SF City FC. Plethora of experience. Really can run all day. He's a terrific winger. He does a fine job. And what a great strike by Mendoza. The ball just kind of baffled Augustin Ray. I think it was a little bit aided by the wind there. SF City leads now 1-0. Such a great atmosphere today here at Negoesco Stadium with the North Siders on the far side and the Fresno Fire Squad here on the west side. They're all banging their drums. This is really what local soccer is all about. And a very special game between the two teams indeed. As always, it does matter what's going on the pitch since both teams are quite good, but at the same time off the pitch, again, both sets of supporters have a unique relationship, and that's a brilliant thing here in this game. DeLuna defending, and I think he oversteps his boundary there, concedes a free kick. Fresno gets a chance to move some players forward here in this 10th minute of the first half. Quickly taken. And the ball had to stop first. Noosa's ball into the area. Headed onwards by Brewster. And a strike on goal. Ends up going wide by Nia Graham. Graham really had SF City's number last year. He played for Las Vegas Mobsters, and he scored the first goal against SF City in their home opener last year at Kezar Stadium. It was really a thorn in the back line of SF City FC. Of course, SF City also has a fellow Las Vegas Mobster player, and Robert Hines, who's playing at left back, and the backup goalkeeper, Alex Cluis, who saw some time in the first couple of games. But Patty Coyne switching now to Keenan Weeks, University of Portland product. As Blanco slips, the 50-50 challenge with Danny Kirkland, and wins a free kick here for his side. This is Blanco. It's really a 4-3-3, very open for Fresno Fuego. They do enjoy this. They're able to send numbers into the final third quite easily. Crossed in. Nia Graham, top of the area, Blanco, cleared away by Robert Hines, and here's Sergi Noose once again. Coach Schwaszka for Fresno telling me everything's kind of worked out this first 3 games. They've only conceded those 2 goals, and those 2 goals were just in the one game against Ventura. But this is a big test for Fresno, and they know it today. And the same thing with SF City FC. And speaking with Coach Patty Coyne before this, they have that mutual respect between the two sides as they know each other. Of course, Coach Brian Schwaszka is the head coach of the Fresno State women's side of Bulldogs. I asked him if he'll be back here for the women's season starting in August. He said he'd like to get that one on the books soon and come back here. Coach Schwaszka only has 2 losses to his name in the regular season with this Fresno team after taking over last year as well. This is DeLuna for SF City. DeLuna able to get out of trouble. He sends a long ball in to Davi Ramos, and he's offside there. But the break was on, and a lot of SF City players thought they were in through on goal with that fine ball by DeLuna. SF City changing their shape from 3 at the back to more of a traditional 4-2-3-1. It's a little bit more defensive than Fresno's 4-3-3 shape, but they keep the ball a little bit more. And Coach Patty Coyne saying to me before this game that a lot of the college players that just recently came into the side over the last number of weeks don't usually know or are not that educated to play 3 at the back yet, but it definitely is modern football, as we had spoke about last week, with Chelsea winning the Premier League title with playing 3 at the back, and the likes of Manchester City also doing the same, as well as Arsenal and Barcelona, of course, sometimes playing with 3 at the back this year. You can definitely see teams changing to play that way. Of course, it helps to have 3 forwards, of course, that can play in those roles in the front 3. Now, this is Danny Kirkland, playing in the holding midfield position today, his customary role. Alongside him, Halil Bejai. Took a knot to a face last week. This is Davi Ramos, enjoying his first start for SF City. He played last year with Burlingame Dragons. He was substituted on to the field last week and against Burlingame 2 weeks ago. Very special, talented player. Played here at the University of San Francisco. Just graduated. Looking for a new home. Perhaps it's with SF City. This is Sergi Noose, taking his time and building out of the back. Noose, who's such a stalwart of this Fresno Fuego team. You always see his name as one of the guys on the team sheet very much early and often. And you know when you're playing against this Fresno team, you have to come up against him. This is Robert Hines clearing the ball, but Noose is right there. Fresno camped out in SF City's half, just allowing them to play on the counterattack, and that's probably what it's going to have to be as the score is 1-0. Fantastic ball now on the ground. This is Cuevas. Got a chance to open up SF City. Cuevas. A slip on the ground once more, and that's Padilla. A tackle on the ground by Campos. Referee yells play on. Ramos looking for Padilla again. This is Brumati, and now Naya Graham. The top of this forward line for Fresno, and they find something here. Cleared away by Padilla. SF City just kind of inviting Fresno to come into their half and defend a bit more with this 1-0 lead and maybe play on the counterattack just a tad after they got that goal in this opening 10 minutes. Brought to you by Gerardo Mendoza. Once again, a wonderful strike by Mendoza indeed. And you can just see the slip on the ground right there by Abraham Campos as he was able to turn and try to play the ball wide, passing the ball around the back 4. A lot of players play with turf shoes, but not futsal ones, proper turf ones. Now, Edu Calvo Salinas, his first start for SF City FC, going to be plying his trade at the University of Portland next year. The youngest player in the SF City squad, just at 18 years of age. Robert Hines on the left side is able to get to that ball. Can he serve a good ball in? Hines into the area. Bejai's there. And cleared away by Fresno Fuego. Just the 3rd goal that Fresno Fuego have conceded this year. Now in their 4th game. SF City has played 2 more games than Fresno Fuego this year. I think a change of the sock there by Jose Cuevas, running over to the trainer. Changes shin guard. Perhaps it's a bit of magic or a bit of luck that he had just 9 days ago against that Ventura County Fusion side, where he had 2 remarkable strikes on goal for this Fresno team. This is Sergi Noose now. Headed away by Ben Brewster, brought down by Danny Kirkland and flicked up into the air. Bryce Kaminsky backing down Trevor Spurgeon. Blanco really does a lot of the work just behind the front 3 in that number 10 role, the captain, of course, of this Fresno Fuego team. Now on for Sergi Noose, who's in the SF City half. Cleared away again by Ben Brewster. SF City just inviting pressure from Fresno Fuego. They haven't been able to breach the back line just yet. Cleared away by Padilla. And they had a lot of the possession since SF City's goal. They haven't been able to get a good strike or work something towards Weeks. Still trying to penetrate that final line of defense by SF City FC. Now, Calvo Salinas. This is Hines. A ball over the top, and onside is Mendoza. And the referee does signal actually for offside. Curse of the commentator there. It's a quick restart. Referee signaling to stop the ball again. It's the second time that he's done that in this match. Graham. And now Noose. Once again, Nia Graham just in front of the San Francisco north side. It's really on the east side today. They can't sit on their customary steps where they like to be, so they're just behind a bunch of railing and tape back there. But they've got their flags, they're waving, they're singing their songs, and they're quite happy because their SF City FC has the lead in this game. Ball in the corner for Fresno, and the referee on the far side does signal for a free kick. It will be a dangerous set-piece opportunity now for Fresno Fuego. Behind the ball is Blanco, of course. Put this ball in. Blanco on his right foot, out-swinging ball into the area, headed away by Robert Hines. Now on for Kaminsky, who falls over. Referee does say play on. Can Calvo Salinas get there? And the referee now pulls play back. He gave the advantage at first and then pulled it back for the infringement. Shot in on goal, Calvo Salinas. And you could just hear the ooh and the ah from the crowd. They're really enjoying this one today. Here comes Fresno. Cuevas. To Graham. This is Nia Graham, who's coming more and more into this game. And again, this SF City team very familiar with him indeed. Davi Ramos now. Keeping possession, but losing out very nicely to Abraham Campos, who, again, patrols just in front of that back 4. Does a fine job indeed. Here's Bustamante. Graham. Tony Torres. Cuevas. And that's the first effort there by Fresno Fuego, by Cuevas. He is the danger man in this front 3 for Fresno. Bryce Kaminsky trying to get through and break through Trevor Sturgeon there. That's going to be quite the matchup as well. Kaminsky getting a chance to play with five of his teammates from the University of San Francisco in this squad just today. But only 2 of them are active. Manny Padilla and Kaminsky will have senior years next year. Danny Kirkland, graduating in 2014. And Christian DeLuna in the back line, as well as Davi Ramos graduating in 2016. Most likely going to go on to have a professional career or semi-professional career, both of them. This is Sergi Noose once more. Noose. Looking for Cuevas, headed on by Padilla, but the wind didn't help him at all as he was trying to head the ball away. Cuevas now into the area, away by Ben Brewster. And Gerardo Mendoza concedes a throw in here for Fresno Fuego. A ball hanging up in the air. It's Spurgeon versus Kaminsky. He's able to get the header there, but can Davi Ramos get there first? Falls to Edu Calvo Salinas. On for Ramos in the corner, and a fine upstanding tackle once more by Elijah Martin. This game played at quite the pace indeed. This pitch a very, very fast field. Now Cuevas try to find Graham. Graham falls down. The referee waves that one away as Graham was making a nice run into the box. Shots of a penalty, but none given. This Fresno team knows that SF City is a good side, and they had the comeback victory, of course, last weekend. Can this fall to Kaminsky? This is Bryce Kaminsky in on goal, and a great save there by Augustin Ray on the 50-50 ball. Kaminsky having the chance there to make that one 2-0 for SF City FC. Terrific ball over the top there by Manny Padilla. As the right-sided forward, Gerardo Mendoza, who's already scored in this game, as well as Kaminsky, were combining there. Kaminsky was able to get to the ball, but was not able to beat Augustin Ray, who came out right off of his line and did brilliantly keep his team in this game. And if he doesn't, it most likely is 2-0 SF City FC here in the 25th minute. This is Noose. And now Elijah Martin. Ball swerved in, looking for Nia Graham, who does get his head to it. Goal kick now. This perfect Fresno Fuego team on the year. 3 wins, no losses, no ties. They've scored 11 goals, and they've conceded just 3. SF City FC, 5 games played, 2 wins, 2 losses, 1 tie, 7 goals for, and 12 against. 5 of those 12 were against Burlingame just 2 weeks ago, after they played Burlingame to a 1-1 draw in their home opener 3 weeks earlier. And just the week before, getting to know that Burlingame team. And not a good day at the office for SF City FC at all. And they changed the shape, they changed the system a bit, a little bit more comfortable in this role. Chasing is Davi Ramos. Abraham Campos is there and playing nicely and neatly out of the back. Fresno able to get the ball very quickly from back to front. This is Spurgeon. Down the sideline for Brumati. Can he put a good service in? Back at the feet of Blanco. Blanco's cross goes over everyone's head. Well worked there. The crosses seem to be coming in now for Fresno. Just the one chance by Cuevas thus far. FC Golden State Force at the top of the table with a perfect 5 record. They scored 20 goals, and they've just conceded 3. So the likes of Fresno, San Diego Zest FC, and SF City FC, and to be quite fair, Burlingame have some work to do against FC Golden State. They're really quite top of the pops here. As the ball was floated in by Fresno, looking for Bustamante, and an SF City fan picks Bustamante up on the far side. Pick him up off of the cement, off of this new pitch here at Negewesco Stadium. 28th minute, 1-0 SF City, courtesy of a goal by Gerardo Mendoza. And it's really been all Fresno since. SF City's had a couple half chances, both falling to Bryce Kaminsky. Hasn't been able to put it in the back of the net, though. This is Spurgeon. He's had a couple of good runs into the SF City half already. Brumati fouled by Danny Kirkland. SF City with a very, very emotional and very full-hearted victory last weekend against Ventura County Fusion. They went down 2-0. They came back and won 3-2. Coach Patty Coyne saying the team showed a lot of heart. They showed a lot of spirit. And I did ask him how the team copes with having slow starts, because in a majority of the games so far, except this one and last year's team, they've kind of succumbed to the early goal, except for today. And he said it's all about mental sharpness and focus. This is Bryce Kaminsky. And now Davi Ramos, and a great tackle again by Fresno. Able to cut out Ramos. It was by Blanco. This is Cuevas, who's going to run it Padilla. Back onto his right foot. Thread in here for Blanco. Blanco is able to win a corner now for Fresno. Just around 15 minutes to go to halftime. We've reached the half-hour mark. Going to be swerved in by Cuevas. Cuevas to the far side, headed away by Christian DeLuna. Throw in just in front of the Northsiders by Abraham Campos. And offside flag is raised. Fresno will be getting a professional side soon, and most likely the side will ply their trade in the USL. It is a separate ownership group than this Fresno Fuego ownership group, but they're working together. They're collaborating to build a healthy soccer community in Fresno. A lot going on in the space of lower division soccer, as you know, especially here in San Francisco, with SF City FC and the San Francisco Deltas, in Fresno. And even in San Diego, there's been a lot of buzz just about specific soccer cities. But Jeremy Schultz, the GM of this Fresno Fuego team, telling me they're creating a platform altogether and working on kind of moving some of their players to the next level. And they're working together to build soccer in Fresno. The two ownership groups do talk. And they want to build a good place for soccer in Fresno. That's really what it's all about. And certainly Schultz, who's almost been involved with this Fresno team for about 10 years already, came in as a minority investor in 2008 and is the GM of this team. That really they're working together and open to all sorts of ideas on how to work together, make this thing happen. Throw in now for SF City FC on the far side. It's around 13 minutes or so to go till halftime. SF City with this 1-0 lead. Again, from Mendoza. Pass by DeLuna. Ping-ponged off of the feet of Nia Graham there. Brewster building out of the back, looking to find Kaminsky, who's defended well by Noose. Kaminsky's able to break the back line a couple of times of Fresno, but not able to find anything into the back of the net. Spurgeon. Going back to the goalkeeper, Augustin Ray, who's been spectacular this year, along with this back line again. Once more, just 3 goals conceded now in their 4th game. It's players like Sergi Noose on the ball there, and Spurgeon and Bruno Brumati made up this back line. Very well-disciplined squad, especially defensively in the back line. Now, this is Blanco, the leader and captain of the team, trying to lead his way back into this match, just down 1-0. SF City inviting a lot of pressure from Fresno. There's been one half chance by Cuevas, but still not able to get through in on goal and really bother Keenan Weeks, and that certainly is going to be a free kick in a dangerous area there. Foul from Danny Kirkland, him speaking with the referee. And now a free kick in a very, very dangerous spot for Milton Blanco. SF City trying to organize their wall. Fresno trying to figure out who in the queue is going to take this free kick. It would have to favor Blanco for sure in this game. It is Blanco behind the ball, as well as Cuevas on his left foot. It's Milton Blanco, and it's right at Keenan Weeks. Blanco with his hands on his head, thinking he should have done better. Looks up to the sky for a moment. Says a little prayer to himself as well. Probably thinks he should have done better there, but he was able to get it over the wall and did bother the goalkeeper somewhat, but right at Weeks. Ball over the top, looking for Davi Ramos, and Augustin Ray does clear. And the wind keeps the ball in play here. Padilla to take this throw in. Appears that Edu Calvo Salinas and Gerardo Mendoza have switched sides now, the 2 wingers, for San Francisco. So around 10 minutes to go in this first half. Brought down by Ramos. Onward by Mendoza. He's looking for Kaminsky. He's got the turn on Spurgeon. Kaminsky, top of the area. Still Kaminsky. And now Davi Ramos. Can he manufacture something special? Calvo Salinas on the far side. Can he get there? Back to the feet of Padilla. Padilla's cross for Kaminsky. Chested down by Ramos. Kaminsky's in the area. Davi Ramos! San Francisco 2, Fresno 0. They have a second, and they lead here 2-0. The cross by Padilla. It was brought down by Davi Ramos. It was a bit awkward, but he's able to finish. SF City 2, Fresno Fuego 0. It's a big-time goal for SF City FC. 2-0 lead. Happy to play on the counter-attack as well. Especially after after scoring in the first 10 minutes of this game. Something that you typically don't see SF City FC do whatsoever. They're used to playing from behind. They're used to conceding the first goal. But today, they've got all their ducks in a row. A couple of the boxes are checked. Is there time for maybe one more from SF City, or is there a chance for Fresno to respond, to assert their possession that they've had the last 35 minutes in this game, and really have something come to fruition for them? Another long ball, looking for Kaminsky. He's got to step on Sergi Noose. Noose clears. And work to do here for this Fresno Fuego team. They've succumbed to 2 goals in this first half from SF City FC. Just the dream start that Coach Patty Coyne probably wanted to see in this match after such troubles of starting late, not even getting out of gear 1 typically until the 30th or 45th minute earlier this year, and most of the games last year. Took SF City 5 home games to get their first win last year. And against a team the likes of Fresno, this is looking good so far for them. This is Cuevas. Lots of soccer to be played, of course. And they find a way back now. Brumati. This is a good response here from Fresno. Spurgeon. Kaminsky working hard. And does concede the free kick there. Spurgeon not happy with Kaminsky whatsoever. And he lashes out with a punch at the air. Well, these Fresno players a bit frustrated. You can kind of see their body language interacting with one another. They know that this isn't the way that they play, and has not been the best of first halves for them so far. Cuevas. This is Danny Kirkland now. Clears the ball. Brought down by Noose. Sends a ball into the area. Cleared away by Ben Brewster. The anchor of that back line for SF City FC. Played professionally last year and then came right back to this SF City FC team. Is actually moving cross country to be the assistant coach at UMass Amherst next year. He's from the East Coast. He played at Bowdoin. And when he played for this SF City team last year, he got an injury in the U.S. Open Cup and was out for a majority of last year, but he's certainly an anchor of this back line. Davi Ramos now for SF City in the corner. Is there more here? Mendoza, his cross, and the wind really holds that one up. Cleared away by Cuevas. How's Nia Graham trying to keep possession now? Kept well by Ben Brewster. And now DeLuna. Weeks to DeLuna. DeLuna has to be quick here. The substitute Souza is on for Fresno. Changed one of their wingers. Headed away by Noose. Goes over the head of Souza. 41st minute of play here. SF City with a 2-0 lead. It's around 5 minutes or so to go with stoppage time. Onwards, this is Cuevas. Great save by Keenan Weeks. Cuevas was through in on goal. And Weeks able to make the save. That's why Patty Coyne made the change at goalkeeper. Keenan Weeks was fired up and ready to go. And he still is. Conceded 2 last week early, but makes the wonderful save on Cuevas. You'd put odds on for him to score there, especially after his magnificent performance against Ventura just 9 days ago with the 2 goals. Can Fresno maybe snag one and get a foothold back into this match? This is the substitute Souza. Raises his hand, out-swinging corner, goes to the near post. Spurgeon over the bar. Is able to get something to it. That's why you send your 2 center backs up there. Maybe they can nick a goal with their height, maybe with their length, maybe with their strength. No rhyme intended in any of those, folks. But I guess it just happened anyway. On for Ramos, and now Kaminsky. Ramos to the far side for Gerardo Mendoza. It's his goal that opened the scoring today for SF City. Mendoza DeLuna into the feet of Danny Kirkland, looking to switch the field. DeLuna again, closely guarded by Blanco. And referee might be going to his book here, as he has to check on DeLuna. I believe Souza is going to be booked, and he just came on the field too. No, Souza booked. Free kick here to SF City FC. Ball swerved in by Danny Kirkland. Once more for Davi Ramos. Ramos has a goal in this game. Kaminsky bundled over. No call by the referee. Fans maybe wanted a penalty there. And the referee stopping play just for a second. Now just coming up on 1 minute till the halftime break. This is Sergi Noose. And Fresno find something just before the break. I know they'd like to have something, given they've had a plethora of possession in this game. They've asked some questions of SF City's back line, and certainly the best chance is falling to their danger man, Cuevas. Ben Brewster does clear away. It's only good enough for a throw-in, though. Down the left side. Was spiraling and swirling, maybe looking for a corner kick. 45th minute. This is Padilla now on the break. On for Kaminsky. He's able to chest the ball down. Had a couple of good opportunities thus far in this match. And the yellow card is coming out as well. I think here to Abraham Campos, or maybe to Bryce Kaminsky. I'm not entirely sure just yet. No, Campos is booked here, and I believe Kaminsky is going to be booked as well. No, Kaminsky booked, Campos booked at the same time, just on the stroke of halftime here. This is Fresno with a diagonal into the area for SF City, but cut out by Ben Brewster. Now Davi Ramos, who's already scored in this game. Ball over the top. The offside flag is raised there. So quickly taken free kick, and now the referee stops it once more for the ball not stopping. That's the third time that he stopped play in this game. In terms of taking the free kicks early. He's been kind of a stickler about that. Already 3 yellow cards shown in this first half as well. Things not getting too chippy just yet. And that is the halftime whistle here in San Francisco, California at Nega Wesco Stadium. This top 4 clash in the Southwestern Division between Fresno Fuego and SF City FC. San Francisco with a 2-0 lead thus far. It was Gerardo Mendoza with a wonderful, wonderful strike on the half volley just around 7 minutes into this game. And then Davi Ramos with one just around 8 minutes before halftime. Fresno with a bulk of possession, a plethora of it. They're able to bother the goalkeeper, Keenan Weeks, just a little bit, but not enough to put one in the back of the net just yet. We've got the second half for you. Keep your computer locked and loaded to our YouTube stream here. The USL PDL continues the path to pro right after this halftime break. Charles Wolin, stay with us. We'll be right back.
done it for one game. You have to get there pretty early to get the good, because sometimes you lose a couple of spots. Yeah. And then I did it for one game. The Giants can actually, because legally they can't own the waterfront. So there's a public walkway that goes right behind the right field and right center field. And if you're at the right side, you can watch the game from there.
That guy was on inside.
Wow. That's really cool. You can actually, if you get a good spot, you can actually watch. It's not the greatest view of the game. And then famously, like San Diego, there's some great places above the Wrigley has covered too, right? Wrigley on Waveland Avenue. They also have like the people go down like right down to the rooftops. Yeah. Right. As seats. Glen Allen Hill used to play for the Giants, one of the great steroid guys. Legendarily once made it onto the roof of the fourth floor apartment building across the street from Wrigley. Surprised those guys. Hell yeah. That's awesome. Then you go to YouTube and watch them. It's hilarious. And they're like, they're home their viewers and they can't believe it. There's a ball game flying over there. It's really cool. So I would say, like, I would actually pay more for great guys. You know what I mean? That's worth an extra $4,000. Awesome. I was thinking that same house, that corner one right there too. Oh yeah. You might be second corner there. Good. These might screw up the full like field. I love this one. I feel like they keep players with the kids. Oh, well, every split. We think the Turkish sucks. Okay. That's what we think. Is there no way? I think it might be a way to get the shorter. This is like year 3 of this term, too. But I don't know. I mean, maybe they could cover it. There was a couple slipping. And not like the first couple. The first week was, you got screwed early. It was like every other time from like walk. I was like, so, I mean, yeah, maybe you get some other kids to try out stuff. It could. Well, this is where all the wind is. We saw a couple, we saw one clearance from the goalkeeper. It looked like it was going to wind up here. Yeah. And it just got up there and it just like sat. There was one that came here, and we were both like, and then it lands. What the hell? We're like, oh, it's coming right off the ocean, man. I had to take my hat off because I don't want to be that guy where my hat flies onto the game. Oh, yeah. I was having a great game. Got a goal. Really good cross. Yeah, the cross was great. Well, even the one, it might have been offside, putting the ball into this as well. If they use one-on-one. That would might help out. Oh, yeah. That hook's right to his path. We'll see if it's going the other way now, because now his hook's going against the path. So, well, you think so. You have to take the hell on it to get it over there. I love oh, yeah. Having going on like, no other. Not usually. Very rarely. Like, I don't think in this conference, but I think there's SoCal Surf. I feel like really the one I think have really SoCal Surf might actually. Like, but Ventura does it. So that is somehow I'm really enjoying it. One step even freedom fans that aren't something. Yeah. I mean, I went down there, whenever it was, and we got destroyed. People in that stadium, a lot of kids. No, I was on my there. Yeah, it's. Alright, time to go back to work. Charles. He dropped down, he'll be back up. He was up here a second ago.
Test.
Welcome back into Nagoesco Stadium. Charles Wolin with you. San Francisco City FC with a 2-0 lead against Fresno Fuego. Fresno Fuego have been perfect on the year. 3 wins, no losses, no ties thus far. They've been absolutely excellent. And SF City had a terrific first half where they scored 2 goals. Now break is on here as Danny Kirkland falls down. And the referee pulls that one back for a stoppage of play. This Fresno team not used to playing from behind, not used to conceding goals. They're really very well disciplined in their back line, as well as at the goalkeeper position in this fantastic 4-3-3 that they play in. Referee pulls that one back as well for another stoppage. SF City's second goal came from Davi Ramos just around 8 minutes before halftime. The first goal was scored by Gerardo Mendoza against the run of play on the half volley. And Fresno has had all the possession thus far after that. That really have only beaten SF City's backline 1 time. And Cuevas really should have scored from an acute angle. Cuevas, who scored 2 goals in Fresno's last game, and they won 4-2 against Ventura. The Fresno Fire Squad in full force today. Traveling from the Central Valley. They're just off to the right of our broadcast gantry here, and the Northsiders on the far side. Northsiders on the east side, the Fresno Fuego Fire Squad on the west side here, traveling with most likely 40 to 50 fans, banging their drum, supporting their Fresno Fuego. Just absolutely love seeing it. This is Souza now, breaks his way through, and the foul has been called there. Well, Souza tries to break through. It'll be a free kick in a dangerous situation here for Fresno Fuego. Golden opportunity now. They find something early in this second half. Would really, really do a wonder. It's going to be taken by Cuevas on his right foot. Sergi Noose is in there. There's a little bit of chatter by the referee, some of the players. Taken by Cuevas. Cuevas' service. It's a really nice one indeed, and held well by Keenan Weeks. Fresno Fuego players wanting a 7-second rule on the goalkeeper Weeks for holding onto the ball too much or too long. This is Danny Kirkland, who's able to settle and turn, but the ball is stolen away. Cuevas now operating on the right side. Cuevas onwards, back to Cuevas, his shot, and takes a deflection. Does not get all the way through. Brought down by Kaminsky. Onward from Ramos to Gerardo Mendoza, and just sails over the sideline for a throw-in now. So in this first 5 minutes of this second half, we're going to have to see how Fresno responds in this game. One of the stalwarts of this league for so many years, Fresno Fuego, and really having a lot of success over the last number of years, especially last season and early this season. And they're definitely better than their first half performance suggests, indeed. Onwards here, chance on, and it just goes wide. I think it was cleared away there at the last moment by Christian DeLuna. Quick free kick here, quick corner kick. Cuevas into the area. Another chance and a goal kick here. Fresno knocking on the door of SF City FC. Really doing so. The couple of free kicks that have been dangerous and a couple of corner kicks as well have really asked questions of this SF City FC back line. It's just the start they want here in this second half, but they find the back of the net early and maybe get a foothold back in the match. SF City continues to press. Augustin Ray does as good as clearing over towards his left side over to the east for a throw in now. Pleasure to bring you this game here today in San Francisco at Nagawesco Stadium, just approximately 3 miles away from the Pacific Ocean, one of the most western places you can play soccer in this country, the United States of America. And of course, by tuning into this broadcast, you help to grow the game of soccer in this country, the United States, as well as help to grow lower division soccer in this country, which is really alive and well. And we are experiencing a revolution with teams like Fresno Fuego, with teams like SF City FC. And the people that cover it. It's been an absolute joy for us to be able to do this, and the two clubs have a fantastic, remarkable relationship indeed. I had a conversation with Jeremy Schultz for about 5 to 10 minutes before this match, as well as the other terrific personnel of Fresno Fuego. Jordan Wiebe, who does the social media, the PR, and the broadcasting, and is also a super fan, is literally the guy for Fresno Fuego. With the Fire Squad, he travels with them for every game. It's organizations like these that are really impacting the growth of soccer, that are helping to make a positive impact in their communities. We had spoke about in the first half that Fresno is going to have a professional team, and this Fresno Fuego franchise is working with that professional team. The two ownership groups have a good, healthy relationship, and they want to continue the growth of soccer in Fresno, in the Central Valley, because it is a hotbed for soccer. There are so many talented players that come out of the Fresno area. This is Sergi Noose now, out of the back for the Fuego. He's definitely going to have a professional career, plays at the University of Virginia, and plies his trade in the summers with this Fuego team. Now, Edu Calvo Salinas. The sideline ball goes out of play. Also a shout out to Tommy Hodel, who's covering this game here for all the different media outlets that he covers lower division soccer for. Chance on a goal, and Ben Brewster muscles that one away. It's right in front of the Fresno Fire Squad there, which potentially could have been a handball on Brewster. I think he was just chesting the ball away. Now, can Bryce Kaminsky get to this ball? Brings it down. He's got Spurgeon defending against him. And a foul has been called. Yellow card's going to come out here to Spurgeon, the fourth of this game. As Bryce Kaminsky goes to ground, shoulder-to-shoulder challenge. I think a bit harsh against Spurgeon, to be honest with you. But Kaminsky running his socks off all game. Really should have a goal today. But Spurgeon given the yellow card. It's 3 yellow cards already for Fresno, 1 for SF City FC. And the first of this second half. The Northsiders on the far side, the chant is "Keep it classy, keep it classy," which refers to the sponsorship of SF City FC. Classy, of course, the jersey sponsor. We want to shout out to classy.org, the largest non-profit fundraising platform in the United States. This is Danny Kirkland to serve this ball in. It's at the near post. Davi Ramos gets his head to it. Ball's trickling over the end line, and it's going to be a goal kick. Chance for Fresno to kind of reset. They've been very good in this second half. Nothing to show yet on the scoreboard. A fine ball by Augustin Ray. Hangs up in the wind just a little bit as well. This is Manny Padilla. Padilla's ball into the area. Flag is raised for offside. Here comes Fresno Fuego, out of the back, building nicely, and they've done that the majority of this game. And when it gets into the final third, they just had a little bit of difficulty being able to play that final ball in. Here they come. This is Souza. The ball sails over the end line for a goal kick now. Souza takes a spill on the far side, upended by Manny Padilla. I believe the yellow card might be coming out here as well, and it is to Manny Padilla. So the 5th yellow card of this game already in just around 55 minutes of this match. So tempers kind of flaring up just a bit. I think the referee's in control, but again, that is the 5th yellow card of this match. Free kick here now. Cuevas into the area. Referee stops play once more. Done that a few times already. Has to stop on the dime. Eligio Aradin, the center official today. Swerved in, Cuevas, and it's over the bar, and the penalty has been given. A penalty has been given to Fresno Fuego. Ben Brewster absolutely incensed with the referee, as I believe that he barged into Carlos Delgadillo there, but a chance for Fresno to get a foothold back into this game, a lifeline potentially for them, just 13 minutes into the second half. It's going to be taken by none other than who else but Jose Cuevas. He's been the danger man so far today. He is the go-to winger. He really does make things happen. Very fun player to watch, too. Jose Cuevas now behind the ball is going to take it on his right foot. Eligio Aradin giving a penalty. He's been quite active in this game, as well as the referee. Cuevas now behind the ball. Cuevas! Oh, and it's over the bar! Jose Cuevas, you would not expect that from him. He really should have done better, spurning his second golden opportunity, and this one right in on goal, and skies a penalty. Certainly a player of his caliber should score there. Unlucky for Fresno, really unlucky after so much possession and a brilliant start to this second half indeed. Remains 2-0 in favor of SF City FC. As Bryce Kaminsky is withdrawn from this game, and Chris Kennedy now in the match for SF City FC. Kennedy, who played at Seton Hall, more of a target man, not as much of a player you're going to find in on behind, through in on goal like Kaminsky. This might be to hold up play. Ball with the outside of his foot by Robert Hines. Outside of his right foot and having a joke with Captain Milton Blanco after that one. Perhaps words exchanged, but in a friendly manner. Just having some fine banter on the field. Just about an hour in now, it's SF City FC 2, Fresno 0. An early strike in the first 10 minutes by Gerardo Mendoza on the half volley, and then a goal by Davi Ramos to follow up. Fuego dominating the second half in terms of the possession. A penalty that was given, a lifeline, and Cuevas blazing over the bar. Having a couple of good opportunities as well. He had one where he was played in by one of his teammates earlier in the first half as well from an acute angle. Noose, and now Blanco over the top, looking potentially for Cuevas. They call him Chiva. They play at the left winger, the right winger position, or just underneath. Onward by Ramos, looking for Edu Calvo Salinas, who now in his first start for SF City FC, just 18 years of age, going to be entering the University of Portland next year. Very smart player. Really understands the game very, very well indeed. It was his touches last week that led to the build-up for the goal that SF City scored to make the game 3-2 in their favor after coming from 2 goals behind to tie it. And it was his move that helped start it. Now this is Souza. Souza's shot comes off of the back of DeLuna. Ball still spiraling up in the air. And it's a corner kick now for Fresno Fuego. SF City going to make another substitution here. Jordan Hughes going to be introduced into the match. Ball on the far side. Cuevas swings it in. Weeks is out to punch it away. Another corner kick now for Fresno. I believe the 4th of this second half. Ball swerved in. Weeks right there. Commandeering his area very nicely today. I'm sure you'd like a clean sheet to show for it. Been a lot of clean sheets in the preseason for SF City FC, especially with their 3-5-2 they started with. And now 4 in the back, really, for SF City now. And they've changed the goalkeeper about 4 times this year already. Peter Swinkle started as the number 1 in preseason, and Alex Cluis took over the beginning of this season in the PDL, and now it's Keenan Weeks' turn. And he won last week. He deserves the start today. Onward for Cuevas. His diagonal. It's a dangerous one. Souza was lurking on the far side. And SF City's now able to make their change. It's around the 65th minute mark now of this match. Khalil Bejai withdrawn, and now Jordan Hughes enters for SF City FC. He'll play alongside Danny Kirkland in the holding midfield position. SF City with 2 sitters and 1 number 10, Davi Ramos, who scored today. Free kick going back Fresno's way. They're prepared to make one more substitution, both teams, in fact. This is Danny Kirkland. for Chris Kennedy. Onward for him. Cuevas. Cuevas. Blanco. Great understanding between the Fresno players. They know each other really quite well. Many of them holdovers from last year and in prior years as well. This is Adu Calvo Salinas with possession now. Loses out here to Abraham Campos. Into the feet of Souza on the far side. Still Souza. Trying to work his magic, and there's a free kick going to be given there as Jordan Hughes upends him a bit. Cuevas in the area against Robert Hines. Good battle that between those two individuals. This is Blanco, doing well against Danny Kirkland. Sergi Noose. Lots of time for him to play that final ball. It's a good one indeed. Top of the area. Great save by Weeks. Follow up. Cuevas! And that's the goal. He pegs one back for Fresno. Can't say it wasn't coming. Cuevas does get his goal. Fresno looking to make another substitution. I believe Cuevas is going to be withdrawn here. Not happy, though, as Milton Blanco has his hands on his hips. The captain looking at his coach, questioning his decision-making in terms of the substitution, but Fresno does have a goal now, and there's around 22 minutes to play or so. Goal scored by Cuevas as the shot was parried by Keenan Weeks. It was started by Noose into the feet of Renato Bustamante. Chris Kennedy, now Davi Ramos. Danny Kirkland looking for Davi Ramos once more. That is just the goal that Fresno wanted to have. You can see they're ready to respond to this goal. Again, firmly on the front foot, as they've been for most of this match. They did win a penalty. They did not score or convert from that penalty. It was Cuevas then again. Shot on the ground, low and wide there. It's Joey Chica, who's the substitute for Cuevas. Again, the Fresno Fire Squad banging their drum, willing their team into this game. Just around 20 minutes to go now. And again, the winner of this series And it's a really interesting series. Both Fresno men's and women's sides, the Fresno Freeze and the Fresno Fuego, as well as San Francisco Nighthawks and SF City FC, get to compete for the Pacheco Cup as there's a corner kick here. The Pacheco Cup is awarded to the city that wins, or excuse me, has the most number of points from the 3 games that they'll play this year. Of course, will be decided on goal differential. Shot on, and not the best shot by Abraham Campos there on his left foot, but the wind certainly did not help him whatsoever. The Pacheco Cup will be awarded most likely after game number 3 in this series, as the Fresno Freeze beat the San Francisco Nighthawks earlier. That's why we were a little bit late to start this broadcast, as that game got a little bit of a later start than usual. But a terrific cup shared by the fans, shared by the supporters. Fresno winning that cup last year between all 4 games. There's usually a home and away between all 4, but now there's just going to be 3 games this year, so I'm told. Danny Kirkland, ball over the top, looking for Spencer Held. Spencer Held, the substitute for Gerardo Mendoza, on the right side. Plays it. Cal. We've played about 70 minutes. It's SF City 1, SF City 2, Fresno 1. This is Danny Kirkland on the break here for SF City. And Fresno maybe respond and get another. SF City, are they looking to find one more to kind of kill this game a bit? But there's certainly a lot of fight in the legs of the Fresno Fuego players. Took them a while to get back into this match. Again, the penalty spurned by Cuevas, but he did finish about 5 minutes ago. Give Fresno that lifeline they need. Alex Colwell now in the match. In the back line for Fresno. Brian Schwashka substituting one of his center backs, Spurgeon, for Alex Colwell. Throw in now for SF City FC on the far side, just around the center line or so. Brought down by Blanco now for Fresno. Controls it nicely, but SF City winning back possession through the feet of Held. Now Danny Kirkland. Throw in on the far side. Ball on the ground here for Fresno. Here they come. This is the right back, making a fantastic run down the sideline. Elijah Martin did really quite well. Coming up now on the 75th minute. Headed on by Fresno. Just around, again, 15 minutes to go in this match. SF City FC with 2 goals in the first half against a Fresno team. And held, getting into it on the far side. The referee blows his whistle. Bit of a push and a shove. He's not going to go ahead and go to his pocketbook again. Stolen by SF City. This is held. Onwards for Kennedy. Kennedy looking for the reverse run of held. Not able to get there though. This is Noose. Cut out by Hines. Onward by Souza. By Blanco. Now into the feet of Souza once more. Souza. He's chopped down by Robert Hines, and certainly that's going to be a free kick and a yellow card. Robert Hines comes in late there, and he chops down Souza. Dangerous free kick here for Fresno. And if you're SF City, you do not want to be giving up too many of these. And if you're Fresno, you want to take advantage as much as possible from this set-piece opportunity. Got a goal back. Is there more left in the tank for this Fresno squad? Will be taken by Blanco. From a dangerous position. It's Blanco, it's into the area. Kennedy is there. Ball sails over the bar for a goal kick. And I believe Carlos Delgadillo got something to that on the far side. And Edu Calvo Salinas, 18-year-old, making his first start for SF City FC, withdrawn here in this second half. Now Carlos Carranza in the game, who scored the winning goal last weekend against Burlingame. Header won by Kennedy. And find one of his teammates, brought down by Padilla. Chica, far side Souza. Oh, and it's just wide. Well worked there by Felipe Souza. What an opportunity. The ball's flashing from the left to the right, and Souza with a wonderful chance for Fresno. Did brilliantly. He's been spectacular since he's come on. Late in the first half, been running all over the field, switching from the left side to the right. Here he is again. Carlos Carranza able to track his run. Carranza onward for Davi Ramos. Ramos versus Noose. Been going at it all game this evening. Excuse me, this afternoon. Abraham Campos. Elijah Martin. Carranza needs to be careful there. Padilla with the header. And he concedes a corner kick. They're going to send up their two center backs, Colwell and Sergi Noose. They find something else from this. Ball swerved in, and Keenan Weeks, again, right there for SF City FC. Very, very good today, Keenan Weeks. This is a substitute, Colwell, now into the feet of Campos. We'll have to see how Brian Schwaszka changes his shape here to go ahead and chase this final goal, get a draw, or maybe even find more than that. Sergi Noose, headed away by Brewster. SF City keen to just sit in a little bit like they were right after they scored their first goal of the day. Sat in for 20, 25 minutes and then found their second. This is Carranza. On the left side, back onto his right foot, crosses the ball into the area, comes off of the back of Sergi Noose. DeLuna. Onside is Chris Kennedy. Can he get the ball though? And Colwell was impeded by Kennedy. Inside this last 10 minutes of the match. Fresno looking to send numbers forward as quick as they can and often. Noose. And now Colwell. Spurgeon is moved over to the left side. Looks like they've got three at the back now, really. Padilla chopped down. No call, says the referee. Play on. Onward here for Spencer Held. A substitute in this second half who does not find one of his teammates and loses out possession here. Chica. Also a substitute for Fresno. And now Campos keeping the ball very nicely for this Fresno squad. Dustin Ray taking his time, finding the feet of Colwell. Fire Squad rooting their team on. The San Francisco City FC Northsiders rooting their team on. Noose's ball over the top. Sailing over to the far side. It does find Blanco. Blanco all over the place in that number 10 spot. Joey Chica, does he beat Ben Brewster there? Brewster is able to get his foot in, make the tackle. Held up by Chris Kennedy. Looking for one of his teammates, trying to find help. And he wins a throw-in. The fans love it. The chant is when the fog comes rolling in by the SF City Northsiders, one of their customary tunes that you'll hear game in, game out, week in, week out, at a festival, at a party, at a community service event. Fitting for the last 10 minutes of this game as they root their side on. Throw in the final third for SF City FC. Not a ton of time left at all. Padilla looking to find Kennedy. Here's Souza on the break. Slipping on the turf is Danny Kirkland. Here's Souza. Just looking to find Carlos Delgadillo. Robert Hines. Kirkland. Ball sent in over the top, headed on by Sergi Noose. This is Joey Chica. Onwards here for Blanco. Blanco's effort trickles through the goal mouth. And Fresno squanders a glorious opportunity there by Blanco. Thought for a second, from my vantage point, it was going in. Can't get any closer. Headed away by Ben Brewster. Blanco into the area. Just looking for Chico once more. Kirkland's able to clear. Brought down by Fresno. Very nice stuff indeed. Just around 5 minutes to go. And Renato Bustamante pushes Delmi Ramos. SF City able to relieve some much needed pressure by Fresno. Had a fantastic opportunity just moments ago to tie the game. Kirkland's ball into the corner, looking for Carranza, finds his feet indeed, and offside flag is raised. And the assistant raising his flag, and a sea of flags on the far side with the Northsiders. You can just barely pick out the little foot by foot and a half red and yellow checkered flag in a sea of pigeon flags and iron and gold flags and rainbow flags and California flags, as well as San Francisco flags with the iron and gold seal on it. And same thing on this near side with the Fresno Fire Squad with their red and black flags. Plethora of them. Cleared away by Noose. Caldwell able to maintain possession now for Fresno. They're looking to go forward. And they dig and find a final gear here. Is there something left in the tank for this Fresno team? It's really now or never time. Gonna be a last gasp equalizer. Brewster able to clear. He's been excellent today at the back line. Been big, strong, and been able to be in places where he needed to be. Gonna be a throw-in now on this far side for SF City. Just around 3 minutes to go plus stoppage time on the stadium scoreboard.
Substitution for Fresno. Number 6, Ross Lindsay in for number 15, Gerardo Mendoza.
This is Noose. Now Souza. Souza plays so quick, plays fast. I'm trying to defend against him. Really, really tricky indeed. This is Blanco. Top of the area, Kirkland trying to maybe find Kennedy. 2 minutes to go now. This is Kennedy. Finds Carranza. Does well indeed. Carranza. This is smart stuff by him. On the left side, bundled over. Maybe too much for the referee to give a free kick there. Fans wanted it, but none given. Brewster right there on Delgadillo, who budged into him. And Abraham Campos with some words. Towards the crowd in Spanish, which I shall not repeat. But the crowd absolutely went ballistic on that one. It was a very loud, authoritative comment indeed. We're on the 90th minute now. This plus a little bit of stoppage time as Campos, yes, does slip. This is Kennedy, and now Ramos, who scored his second goal for SF City FC, which would be the game winner if the result holds. Cleared away. Robert Hines with the header. Final substitution here for SF City FC. Bernardo Bernardelli going to be introduced. Davi Ramos trying to get off the field as he takes his shin guards off. And Bernardelli now in the match. Asking for the substitution to come on. And the Northsiders on the far side, lighting off their smoke. Asking for the final whistle now. There can't be long in this match. We're into the stoppage time. One last foray here, potentially for Fresno. Ball sent in over the top. Dealt with by Carranza, who's able to clear. This is Blanco. Blanco again. Blanco's ball. Headed away by Ben Brewster. Throw in here for Fresno in a dangerous territory against SF City FC. Ball sent in, headed away by Robert Hines. It's Joey Chica. And Danny Kirkland with the ball, and he wins back possession for his side. Hines asking the official on the near side for a 10 yards given. Brought down by Blanco. And held clear. It's kind of 6s and 7s now for SF City. The same thing for Fresno as they're trying to chase this equalizer. Campos, this is Ross Lindsay, the substitute. Does well, still Ross Lindsay on the ground. Delgadillo headed away by DeLuna and away by Kirkland. The header won by Colwell. And now Jordan Hughes. And a slip on the ground. Can Kennedy get there? No, he can't. This is Sergi Noose now out of the back. On the ground for Souza. Away by Robert Hines. Fans asking for the final whistle here. Souza, one last foray into the area. Cleared away by Padilla. Every single SF City player is behind the ball now. Fresno, a little bit of another opportunity here. Fans whistling for this one. Good thing there's no Vuvuzela around. It would sound like a beehive in here. This is Spurgeon. Spurgeon out of the back, who moved from center back to left back, and SF City winning a free kick now on that far side. And that is the final whistle here at Negoesco Stadium. What was a feisty affair, but SF City FC, their second win in a row at home, and getting it done very early indeed. It was Gerardo Mendoza's goal in the first 10 minutes of this game. On the half volley, it was set the ball. He was open on the right side and just had to go from distance. Beat the goalkeeper. right over his head for the opener. SF City then invited Fresno into their half quite a bit, and Fresno not able to capitalize. SF City found the back of the net a second time in this match through Davi Ramos, as he's able to bring the ball down off of a long cross and then put it into the back of the net. It was 2-0 SF City FC at halftime. Fresno really had the run-of-the-mill in this opening part of the second half, as Jose Cuevas, Chiva, as they call him, had a penalty that was awarded to his side, and he blazed over the bar. And finally, he was able to score a couple of minutes later. Fresno searching for the answer, searching, digging deep, but SF City FC, they're able to get the 3 points here and see off Fresno on a beautiful Sunday afternoon here in San Francisco. SF City FC, they're back here at home next weekend. Make sure that you join us here at Negawesco Stadium, or you can always tune into our broadcast, helping to grow the game of soccer in this country, the United States of America. That's what you do by tuning into this broadcast as SF City takes on the Southern California Seahorses. For Fresno, they're back at home against San Diego Zest FC, and then they play against the Southern California Seahorses the day before SF City plays them indeed. So from San Francisco, we appreciate you tuning in. Once again, my name is Charles Wolin, and a big thank you to your patronage for listening to us. Our broadcast team, Jason Harrell, our director, producer, mixer, camera 1, A1, A2, J. Harrell Productions. We wish you a very good rest of your afternoon here from San Francisco, California. The final score, it's SF City FC 2, Fresno 1. Have a great rest of your day.